All the pigs keep frontin' like it don't mean nothing. Google AYDY, fingers do the walking. You know what Swagga Gurlz, keep your grandma jumping. All across the world, gotta wear pink bumping. Blow up in my face, won't you add me as a friend? Listen to the music, you can play it back again. Melanie and Anna, CC, Josh and Lynn. Swagga AYDY, here we go again. Oh, AYDY, 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 AYDY. When you see a kid thuggin', be like AYDY, AYDY, AYDY. If your parents keep bugging you like AYDY, AYDY, AYDY. If you see a senorita at the school switching hard, makeup on her face like she was a superstar. Tell her she should quit it before she take it too far. Mira AYDY, stop it like a car. Cutie that you like, keeps liking your friend. Tell him AYDY, get your favorite pen. Write a little letter, duplicate it in French. Tell him AYDY, this is gonna hit AYDY, and the players keep playing you like AYDY, 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 when you see a kid thuggin', be like AYDY, AYDY, AYDY. If your parents keep bugging you like AYDY, AYDY, AYDY. Once upon a time, not long ago, we was in a bag, but we had to flow. Like for a little rivers, we didn't have to grow. Get it now, we in the front like a burger pot. Whoa! The beat be cooking, lyrics keep missing. We be on the stage like the fabric be missing. Haters come around and they ask us at the show. Swagga AYDY, and we like no. Oh, AYDY, AYDY, when you see a kid thuggin', be like AYDY, AYDY. When your parents keep bugging you like AYDY, AYDY.